I'm Jacob Weisberg, the editor of Slate and the author of the new book, The Bush Tragedy. In researching the book, I came across a funny story that I think sheds some light on the president, how he thinks about art, how he thinks about religion, and how he creates a certain mythology around himself that may not bear a direct relationship to reality. George W. Bush has, throughout his political career, tried to emphasize how important his religious faith is to him. And one of the ways he's done that is by advertising his taste in art. His favorite painting, he says, is a painting that he thinks is called A Charge to Keep. And it is a painting, a Western scene of a rider on a horse riding up a kind of steep, craggy hill. And Bush has always talked about the religious symbolism of this painting. He says it's named after his favorite hymn by Charles Wesley called A Charge to Keep. And actually, as time has gone by, he's developed more of his own mythology around this painting and has told people, including ministers who've come to his office, that what it really depicts is Methodist circuit riders, these missionaries who spread evangelical faith of that period in the early 19th century across the Allegheny Mountains. And it hangs in the Oval Office. It has pride of place in his office. But he's wrong about what the painting is and what it represents. It's by an artist named W.H.D. Kerner, who was a Western artist who did illustrations for magazines in the early part of the century. And it was originally commissioned by the Saturday Evening Post, was to illustrate a story called The Slipper Tongue, which is a Western story about a horse thief who is about to be lynched and is being chased by the law. And in fact, the picture depicts this thief running away from the lawmen. The second use of the illustration was for a nonfiction article about the Mexican Revolution. The caption was, "Bandits move from town to town, pillaging whatever they can find." And then in the final version, the artist W.H.D. Kerner sold the same illustration again to another magazine, The Country Gentleman, which used it to illustrate another fiction story, which is sort of an early environmental story. It's about a young man who inherits this charge from his father to protect this beautiful forest in the Northeast from these rapacious timber barons who want to burn him out and cut down all the trees. So he's developed this idea that bears actually no relation whatsoever to what this painting is, what it means, or even what it's called, because this name that's been attached to it, which he thinks comes from a Wesleyan hymn, actually was the name of the story, which had no religious underpinnings at all.